So this is my fourth video on FTSE coronavirus and oil. So we already calculated this linear regression during the previous video. Now we are going to cover naive forecasts. So I will use the command snaive, and I will need to adjust this snaive to the proper number of observations. So I am using here 8 for the snaive forecast, as I mentioned earlier. If you want to get to know what that H means, so you just go here and type the question mark is naive, and then you will be able to check what are the arguments and what particularly is H, which is the number of periods for forecasting. So here we have H equal 8, but as you remember, previously we decided that the number of periods to forecast, it was going to be step ahead 40. So I that type a step ahead of 40 instead of that 8. So I'm going to do 14 because it's simpler or quicker, and then I will be able to get to know what are the accuracy and the performance and evaluation measures. I can see here that I have in the test set 1132 for the root mean square error, and that compares to just 603 from the previous linear regression, meaning that still linear regression is doing better than the Vaseline model of naive forecast. Okay, I can plot these results as well. I use the name, or I created the name forecast as naive. I can either use this or create here a name for plotting the results. I can just use the command that I used previously, and then I will need to change the y-axis limits just in the same range of the data, and I can change as well the titles and everything else. Okay, so I control enter this plot, control enter. As you can see here, I have these numbers are number of weeks. Yes, number of weeks, and this is the forecast. Compare this forecast with the rest of the validation time series, and as you can see, probably is looking that is very far away actually from the actual values. So for that reason, I will not choose that. In line 64, I can also plot the values, like the fitted line for the estimation regression, and it shows actually that this forecast is not very good in comparison with the actual values of the FTSE. Okay, so I will also perform a smoothing. I already explained in my previous videos what is this AAN. Again, this is the error, which is additive. This is the trend, additive, and the seasonality, nothing. If I put an M, it could be multiplicative. So let's choose here or control enter these three type of models, smoothing models. So I have one additive, and nothing for the season, additive for the error, nothing for the trend, and nothing for the season, and set. That means I am asking R to find the best model in its own way. So I already control enter line 75 to 77, and I am going to perform some predictions. I need to change this to 14, like in order to compare with the other time series, and I use the command forecast to forecast these three estimations that I performed previously. So control enter, and control enter. I have now in the memory of R the forecasts for these three estimations using smoothing methods. In line 83, I am dividing this panel in three, so in one row and three columns. Yes, one row, three columns. And so this is going to show like a window divided in three graphs, where I can actually plot the results of my forecasts. As you can see, the best actual a forecast for R is the same one here. Yes, so we have AAN, which is additive, additive, and nothing for the seasons, additive, additive, and nothing for the seasons. So you can see that these two are actually the same. I can show you as well the accuracy results that are going to compare this um, uh, prediction with the validation time series, and then this will show to us, this will show actually what is the root mean square error. In this case, I have 572, and if we go up in the data, the previous one was 1084 to high and 603 for linear regression, meaning that we are beating in terms of root mean square error the other models. So this model with additive error, additive trend is very good in order is beating the other two forecasts because it has the less number of root mean square errors. So far this actually is our best forecast. Now I can go on into explaining center and trailing moving average. I already explained this for the previous video. I will not go into explain here line 25 or adapting this to this case, because actually I cannot compare trailing moving average to the other two. It would be unfair to do that, to compare these two methods, because one is trailing moving average. This means that I will roll forward the training period. Meanwhile, I haven't done that with the smoothing or naive forecast or linear regression. So I will jump over this line 95 up until line 148. I already opened the library forecast. It doesn't make any harm to make sure that it was open, and I'm going to open the library Lubridate. Now I am going to tell R what is the format of the time series. So if you remember, I have here this file and it's actually days. So I will need to change this command as .grquarta. I will start my next video from this section, and I will explain the next forecasts in my last video, and we will choose our best forecast for the FTSE, coronavirus, and oil shocks that we have seen recently.